getting worse today with really just seeing these people at each other's throats on lines. What does it say to you?
No, Trump has been silent about this specifically because he knows he wants H-1B visa workers, which he's revealed recently. And he knows that it's just a very unpopular position because his base is so racist. That's it. I don't know how we took this sidestep here, but here's something interesting. Donald Trump has actually landed on, surprise, surprise, rich billionaire guy agrees with other rich billionaire guy about continuing a hyper-exploitative process in terms of H-1B visas that help other rich billionaire guys. Surprise, surprise. Okay? What if it's Luigi's D? We shouldn't look at Luigi Mangioni's penis. No, like
out of respect.
Out of respect, yeah. Even though it's 8 inches uncut, perfect amount of vascularity.
Keep going. What color is it? What color is the tip?
This is pink.
Yeah. He's not really hungry for it based on that description. No imagination.
If he wants us to see it, he'll show us. Yeah.
If he hangs dong, I think it's an acquittal for sure.
Yeah. So let's get back to it. Trump supporters and his tech allies are arguing over H-1B visas.
Not produce the best engineers. Elon Musk, who along with Ramaswamy will lead Trump's Department of Government Efficiency, also posted on X that same day, quote, "The number of people who are super talented engineers and super motivated in the USA is far too low." The backlash was fast and furious from Trump loyalists who support strict limits on immigration.
American jobs for American citizen workers.
Trump's former White House Chief of Staff, Steve Bannon, on his War Room podcast on Friday, calling on stalwart Trump supporter Laura Loomer to explain what she sees as the conflict amongst supporters of the president-elect.
Why are these people who have a history of hating President Trump all of a sudden trying to dictate us on our immigration policy and telling us that we're stupid, we're not the best and brightest, we have to import people to do the job in tech?
Musk posting on X late Friday about some Republicans, quote, "And those contemptible fools must be removed from the Republican Party root and stem." Silent for now on the issue, President-elect Trump.
Now, Donald Trump has joined a different social media fight. The incoming president filed a brief with the Supreme Court asking it to pause a Biden-era law that would block TikTok in the U.S. around mid-January if its parent company, ByteDance, a Chinese-based company, doesn't sell the app. Michelle?
Torian, thank you.
Someone to show you around the school, I'd be happy to.
Jocks preferred to geeks, sport over science. It's all there in the 90s teen comedy that Donald Trump's tech bro protege, Vivek Ramaswamy at least, seems to think symbolizes.
I love this so much. Rad libs are cooking, I fear. It was all fun and games when the target was black Americans. I mean, yeah, and Mexicans too. It is kind of interesting to see so many of the far right, like Indian accounts in the midst of all of this, turn around and be like, whoa, 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 whoa. We're the model minority. What you mean? And it's like, oh, did you use the cologne I got you?
Yeah, why you smell it?
Yeah, it smells great, dude.
It does smell really good.
Yeah.
Is the failure of American culture.
I knew that was coming.
A culture that venerates Zack and Slater over Screech in Saved by the Bell will not produce the best engineers, he said in a tweet. American culture has venerated mediocrity over excellence for way too long. Cue civil war among Trump's inner circle, the billionaires versus the nationalists, chiefly former White House strategist Steve Bannon biting back.
The nerds don't take criticism, and I say, you can't run a country by algorithm.
It all started when an Indian-born entrepreneur, Sriram Krishnan, was announced as the incoming Trump administration's AI czar.
I feel nervous. I feel real pressure. You know, I don't want to screw this up. I may not get
Trump's MAGA movement imploded into broader arguments about immigration. Elon Musk, increasingly at the right hand of the incoming president, hit back, calling fellow Republicans unrepentant racists. Then becoming a target himself of some of the loudest pro-Trump voices his own platform has amplified.
This is about being able to speak truth to power and speak truth about unelected billionaires who now want to pretend like they are president.
It shows just how troublesome a second administration could be for Donald Trump, with MAGA tribes already turning on themselves.
He started it.
Hey. Amazing.
In his clash with the far right over immigration, Elon Musk is now going after the hardliners, the very heart.
Nerds versus jocks discourse in the White House, and Trump hasn't even been sworn in. I know. I love that so much of the modern fascist movement is basically held together by contempt for what they assume is liberalism and like certain minority groups. Like they all got together because they were like, yeah, we hate trans people. Am I right? Yeah, like black and brown people. And all of a sudden, when they're like, hey, by the way, we want to continue hiring other brown people that we can consistently undermine and fill these roles at wage prices that Americans are not going to fill these roles in. All of a sudden, everyone's like, whoa!
Of the MAGA base, labeling them just a few hours ago as, quote, Musk now finds himself pitted against the likes of Steve Bannon, however, Trump's former White House aide, who came out against Musk's push for H-1B visas, which allow highly skilled foreign workers into the U.S. and has long been the lifeblood of Silicon Valley.
H-1B visas? That's not what it's about. It's about taking American jobs and bringing over essentially what become indentured servants at lower wages. This thing's a scam by the oligarchs in Silicon Valley to basically take jobs from American citizens, give them to what become indentured servants from foreign countries, and then pay them less. Simple. To let them into through the golden door.
Now, Bannon's comments align him with people like the far-right activist Laura Loomer, who has been bashing Musk for days now on this and is even accusing him of censoring her on his own platform. She is the anti-immigrant Trump ally who is now claiming that her blue checkmark was removed, her subscriptions were deactivated, her character limits for tweets and posts on X were limited for what she says is, quote, raising concerns and speaking the truth about the technocratic takeover of our country in the White House. Now, that was after she posted racist messages like this, saying our country was built by white Europeans, actually, not third world invaders.
Guys, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't think Stephen Bannon, who worked for Goldman Sachs for most of his career, gives a shit about workers' rights, okay? He's just racist. He's using left populist sentiment about workers' rights in an effort to push for his racist desires. He just wants America to be perfectly white so that everyone looks like Steve Bannon. A grotesque husk.
I think he's
That's
hot.
it. What did you say? No, go ahead.
I said he was hot.
Uh-huh.
That's why they hate
from
him.
India. More on what she is saying about why she lost those privileges on X in a moment with Donny O'Sullivan. But all of this began after Trump named Shriram Krishnan, a tech entrepreneur and investor who was born in India, as his senior policy advisor on artificial.
He got Kash Patel in there too, and he got Vivek. That's too many Indians for the racist dude. They're like, what the f are you doing?
Intelligence. He's not an immigration advisor for Trump, but this started this entire backlash. And it's culminated today with Elon Musk not backing off of his stance, despite the backlash that he is facing from the MAGA right. Instead, he's writing tonight, anyone of any race, creed, or nationality who came to America and worked like hell to contribute to this country will forever have my respect.
It's gone woke.
Noticeably silent in all of this infighting in his party, the president-elect himself. My political sources tonight are the former Deputy Assistant to President Biden, Jamal Simmons, Editor-in-Chief of The Dispatch, Jonah Goldberg, and CNN Senior Correspondent Donny O'Sullivan. And it's great to have you all here. Jonah, I'm sure you've been watching, just like I have, as all of this has been playing out, only getting worse today with really just seeing these people at each other's throats on lines. What does it say to you?
No, Trump has been silent about this specifically because he knows he wants H-1B visa workers, which he's revealed recently. And he knows that it's just a very unpopular position because his base is so racist. That's it.
That Trump himself, the king of weighing in on things online, has not done so.
Because he doesn't have a good answer to this problem, right? He's got a very tight, small coalition
as presidents go, and there's just not a lot of give in it. I mean, it's symbolized by the fact he's going to have what, a 2-seat, maybe with this new defection, a 3-seat majority in the House. If you have 3 or 4 or 5 congresspeople who agree with Laura Loomer and Steve Bannon, then you can't get any legislation done that Elon Musk wants. And so he's stuck in this hard place where he hasn't quite yet figured out how to get peace amongst the various Trumpy tribes back together. And I don't think this is going to be the schism that tears apart MAGA, but it is the first sign of what is probably going to be a good number of schisms and fault lines that divide people who have irreconcilable positions.
Arun says the silver lining to all this is it'll make Indian Americans stop supporting Republicans as they realize that the people they support don't like them either. I don't think so. Maybe, but I think it's too hopeful. I think the personal resentment is as far as what I've heard from my Indian friends who have immediate older family members that are in the MAGA world, kind of their resentment for other Indians and the left is far more consequential in the way that they operate than like the broader anti-Indian sentiment being expressed loudly and proudly by the right. At least for some people, I think that they're not going to change course. They're just going to look for like another vector of hate to be like, no, it's still like lower caste Indians and the leftist, the communist Indians that are they're giving us a bad name. They're giving us a bad rap. That's why these guys like hate us.
I mean, I think that Elon, it's just going to go back to being something that they try to hide and like obfuscate as much as possible. You know, like, didn't Elon just nuke a bunch of super racist far right accounts partially because they were finally stepping against him?
Yeah.
But like, I think one of the things Elon said in his tweets was basically like, I gave you idiots a platform, blah, blah, blah. Which, I mean,
it was Adrian Dittman who said that. We don't know if that's Elon.
Yeah, my
allegedly
bad.
Elon Musk.
Allegedly Elon Musk, but
decent amount of evidence to suggest that it might be Elon Musk.
So I think it just goes back to isolating them a little bit more so they can't all come out here and pile on the best good rich boy.
I just don't think that the online right was as formative and as important a part of this coalition as like a lot of people think they are. Both on the left and the right, people have a tendency to overemphasize the impact that like a bunch of fucking esoteric Nazi losers have. And I think it directly comes from, I mean, I feel like I'm giving the fucking cheat code here when I say this, but I think even if you were to like push them aside and be like, yeah, you suck, you would not really, if you're a Republican, you would not necessarily face a tremendous amount of repercussions. As a matter of fact, it's probably beneficial for you to do such a thing.
This is what you and Joe Rogan have to talk about.
They're not real movers and shakers.
Yeah, it is remarkable to see this because some people who, have studied Elon Musk for a long time were saying that when this friendship was blossoming, that
No, I don't think so. I think even those upper caste idiots will be forced to not support Republicans in the face of direct racism because the main reason Indians support Republicans is for the tax breaks. I think there will be a come to Jesus moment for some of them. There's a lot of BJP supporters that are actually Democrats. It's so funny. Well, I mean, I guess that makes sense if you're a BJP guy and you support the Democrats because it's like, whoa, dude, it's BDS. I can't believe you did that. I haven't opened a can of, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have called you out. I haven't opened a can of fucking Diet Coke. They've just been sitting in my fridge. So apologies for keeping it there.
Oh my God. It's over.
I overreacted. It was my bad. He thought it was something different.
It's over for me, chat.
I am now officially the woke of the day. I can't believe how the turntables, dude. How the turntables, holy shit. In any case, what was I saying? Oh, of course they support the Democratic Party.
I'm not drinking it. I'm not drinking.
The Democrats are the number one Muslim murder machine. They oversaw the ethnic cleansing of Gaza. Just yell at them on the street next time. Say the line, girl, the boycott. Yeah, girl, the boycott. Anyway.
Inevitably, there are major differences.
Never interrupt your enemy when they're making a mistake. My enemy.
Space and them on this issue. And Donnie, just on how all of this started was with Trump's pick for an AI advisory role. that's going to be sitting not in the West Wing, but in the building next door. And, you know, this has caused such a huge issue where Laura Loomer, we'll get into that in a moment, but was accused of posting his address online and sharing documents like that, which is why some people said was the real reason she was taken away from those things on Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, I think, look, a big part of the reason that this advisor in question is being targeted is because he's not white. He's Indian. And, you know, you can just go on to X and see the vitriol around this conversation. I mean, they try and say it's about visas and everything else, but really you do not need to scratch the surface too far just to see the level of racism and hate and just really ugly stuff that's happening on that platform. And that is in part, right, because a lot of the white supremacists and racists and others who had been suspended by Twitter for spreading hate under the previous ownership were all brought back onto the platform under Elon Musk. And so what you're having now is you have people who are also incentivized by the structure put in place in Musk to have these kind of viral posts where they pick on somebody essentially and try to get them to go viral.
And chief among them is Laura Loomer, who, for people who don't, she's not a household name. For people who don't know her, you know, she has pushed conspiracies about 9/11, even though Trump took her to the 9/11 memorial with him. She was on his campaign plane. You know, we saw her getting off of it with him earlier during the 2024 race, not that long ago. She is claiming Musk is censoring her. I heard from people who are opposed to her earlier today saying that's not what's happening here. What did happen with her account?
So yeah, Loomer has about
critical support for our beautiful queen, our beautiful queen Laura Loomer, getting banned off of every tech platform once again.
Speaking truth to power.
Yeah, it's really messed up.
On X, she's a big voice in the MAGA world, right? As much as I think maybe a lot of establishment Republicans, even people who are close to Trump, would like to say that, you know, she doesn't have influence. She does certainly in this space. What happened over the past 24 hours is she has a verified blue badge account, which I think to a lot of people just say, so what, it's a blue badge. But what that allows her to do on the platform under Musk is it allows two things. One, it allows her to get revenue from the ads that are shown next to her posts. So that's a way that Musk has set up the platform to try and monetize it, to try and encourage people to post more on the platform. And also she has paid subscribers on the platform. We don't know how much money she was making, but oftentimes that can go into the many, many thousands every month. So that has been taken away from her. We haven't heard from X, we haven't heard from Musk specifically, but Musk did call her out a few times during the week, essentially calling her a troll.
Yeah, I think he outright called her.
He did.
Undeniably, she is. I think that everyone, if you like her or dislike her, can agree on that. Jamal, we're going to ask a House Republican in a moment about his view on this and where this stands, as Jonah was referencing, you know, whether anything can get done in Congress. We had Jared Polis, the Democratic governor of Colorado, on the program last night. He was agreeing with Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk. And I heard from people after saying, you know, that's not going to help Elon as he's making his case here, with Democrats agreeing with him.
Yeah, the problem on the Republican side right now, the MAGA Republicans, they've got three strains. The one strain is sort of the economically anxious, the people who kind of could go either way. They just want lower grocery prices, more affordable housing. They thought Trump might be the guy. You've got these ideologues like Laura Loomer who are sort of culturally anxious, right? They don't want an America that's going to become browner. They're trying to preserve kind of a white Christian heterosexual culture that.
I feel like this is a lot of words to use to just basically not say Nazi.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have the Laura Loomers of the world who are culturally anxious about America becoming a maybe browner nation. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they're Nazis. To be clear.
They are
Nazis.
White supremacists.
Yeah.
That's it. CNN won't call a Jewish woman a Nazi, bro. I mean, Stephen Miller is also Jewish. Are we going to act like Stephen Miller, who fucking wrote Donald Trump's white nativist anti-immigrant policies, is not a fucking Nazi? What are we doing here?
They believe is the core American culture and ought to be the one that exists. Now, Laura Loomer ignores when she says Europeans built the country. She ignores the African slaves. She ignores the Chinese immigrants who did the railroad. She ignores the people from Mexican heritage in the Southwest who worked, and then Native Americans who were here first. She ignores everyone else who was in the country. So the problem is, they've got to figure out how to Trump has got to figure out how to hold these people together. I just don't know if it's possible. Because at the end of the day, the only way the country grows is if we do have more immigrants who come into the country who help populate and move the country forward, and that we make it more diverse, where we recruit and retain people from different backgrounds into these tech industries so that we can have an economy that can compete with everybody in the world.
Yeah. Well, and Jonah, on that front, we heard from Loomer earlier today saying, still pushing her position. Obviously, as I read just a moment ago, Elon Musk is very much still advocating for his, despite the immense backlash he's been facing. But listen to what Loomer said about what she plans to do with her position on this earlier.
I'm going to escalate it all the way up to President Trump. I'm going to take it to advisors, and I'm going to take it to people I know who have been appointed to cabinet positions. And I'm going to ask them, is this the type of America that we're going to be living in? Are these the campaign promises that were made to MAGA and the American people?
I mean, she does have a direct line to Trump, obviously. We've seen that. Trump has said he doesn't control her, but Elon Musk...
No, Trump didn't say that. Trump said she's a free spirit. Do you remember that?
Is that what he said?
Yes. It is the funniest. It is the funniest fucking thing, dude. Does anyone have that clip? I have to show this to you. It's like Trump reacting to Ruth Bader Ginsburg's death level clip, I think.
Oh, it's the first time I'm hearing it. What can you say?
Who are concerned about your close relationship with Laura Loomer.
Free spirit.
Well, I don't know what they would say. Laura's been a supporter of mine, just like a lot of people are supporters, and she's been a supporter of mine. She speaks very positively of the campaign. I'm not sure why you asked that question, but Laura is a supporter. I don't control Laura. Laura has to say what she wants. She's a free spirit. Well, I don't know. I mean, look, I can't tell Laura.
She's a free spirit. She's beautiful. She's beautiful. I love her. She's a free spirit.
She goes wherever the wind blows.
Yeah. I mean, come on,
I love that about her.
Come on.
She came to me in a dark dream and her darkness covered me.
They fucked. Okay. I'm sorry.
I'm in her shadow.
I've seen enough. They piped. Okay. Trump hit that.
She is an endless hunger, and I am endless desire. I made a pact with her many years ago when she came to me in a dream.
Pretty good.
Thank you. Would you watch that?
Keep up this level of comedy when you're on the Fear End podcast later today.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, bitch.
You just letting random people into your house?
No.
Laura, what to do? Laura's
someone who's basically living at Mar-a-Lago, and I think that is a real question of whether or not, as you rift, but it's the start of one potentially in this scenario.
Mia Khalifa also coming on Fear End.
For sure. I think it's one rift among a bunch that will probably come down the pike as we move forward. But look, I mean, it would take a heart of stone not to laugh at the situation that they've gotten themselves into. Trump, is this classic, what do I have to do to put you in this condo today kind of salesman. And he makes promises to the Musk faction. He makes promises to the Laura Loomer faction and a bunch of other factions in between that cannot be reconciled with each other. And look, I'm much closer to Elon Musk on the policy issue here than I am, even remotely with Laura Loomer about any of this stuff. But one of the ironies of all this is that all of these people across the spectrum, they rode this populist tide in, claiming that establishment Republicans and conservative establishment and the old Reaganite crowd, the old National Review crowd, they don't know anything and all the answers are super easy and we know exactly what to do. And then it turns out they come in and it turns out this stuff is really complicated. H-1B program is complicated for how you reform it, how do you expand it?
I mean, it's not that complicated. It's just, yeah, for racist people, it's not complicated. They just don't want Indians. For the bosses, it's not complicated. They don't care where the immigration is coming from. They want highly educated, skilled workers that they can replace the American workers with, the documented American workers with, because they will work for a cheaper price point. And also they will work longer hours without having the same benefits because their status of being in the United States relies on them continuing to have gainful employment.
What do you do about chain migration? And the serious people were all pushed aside in favor of all of these populist yahoos from Steve Bannon on down. And now they're the dog that caught the car, and they don't know how to do any of this policy because they haven't done any of the legwork on it.